Alright boys, I'll be telling you guys how I like to set up 3-4. We're going to have our best pass rushers at end, best block shedder at D tackle. You want to have your best two tackle linebackers at middle linebacker, your two fastest linebackers on the outside. And for this, you also want to have the best man corners on the outside and the best zone safeties on at safety. So for the Cowboys, it's going to be Byron Jones and Anthony Brown at corner, Owuzie and Woods at safety, and Sean Lee and Joe Thomas outside. And remember, this is very important. You want your best tackling linebackers at middle linebacker, and you want to have your best block shedder at D tackle. Now I'm going to be showing you guys the 3-4 coverage defenses that I like. There's two coverages that I primarily like better than all the other ones. And the first one we're going to break down is cover 3 buzz buck. And we're going to practice this against, I guess we can do some, let's do some tight doubles. What I like to do is you base the line, which is wide to the right, show blitz, which is wide left, and it's going to give you this look where everyone is super close to the line of scrimmage. What we're going to do is we're always going to use the safety in the yellow, and we're going to put this guy in a spy, and we're going to shade down. So it's going to look like this. We're going to leave those purples, and then we want to hover right over here because we do have a show blitz scheme out of this where you're going to use the safety. So again, this is what it's going to look like. Again, I like to leave purples because the curl flats kind of guard corner routes, and they give up the flat route for a few yards. And as you guys can see, perfect coverage out of 3-4, where you have a lot of linebackers in coverage, which usually doesn't happen. For block shed, I always like to shade down. Crashing down. I think crashing down gives these really good linemen better chances to win. Gonna show you guys this one more time. So we're gonna Y right, which is baseline, Y left to show blitz. We're gonna put this guy right here in a spy, and we're gonna use this yellow, and we're gonna hover right over here and make pretend we're blitzing. The big thing about defense, the way to be very successful on defense, is you want to make everything look the same. So you want to make your cover shells look exactly like your blitz shells, because you don't want to give an offense any tell. Just like if you're playing poker. When a professional player figures out you have a tail, you're at his mercy. So again, show you great coverage, gives enough time for both the ends to come free. Now we're going to show you guys my other favorite coverage out of 3-4 odd. And the reason why I also really like these is because they're really easy to set up. And this year it's hard to make a lot of adjustments because the way that the offense gets to the line of scrimmage so fast. And what I like is cover 3 cloud. Once again, we're going to practice this against I guess we'll do tight doubles. Again, the same adjustment is to Y right, Y left. And for this defense only, this is the only defense that we're going to do this in. We're going to sometimes do this in cover 2, but we're going to use this linebacker right here. And we're going to cloud flat the outside corner. And since most of you guys are going to be playing online, I would just use this guy and not move. And it's kind of what we call in the Madden community creeping. So again, you're going to see that once again, almost everything is locked up, and the pass rush gets there. Show you guys this one more time, Y right, Y left. This time we're going to put this blitzing linebacker in a spy, and we're going to cloud flat this outside corner. And we're going to use this linebacker. I'm going to show you guys the way I also use him in cover 2. So this doesn't give up a complete tell that you're in cover 3 cloud. And once again, everything's locked up. You can't scramble because of QB spy. So these are the two coverages I like out of 3-4. And now I'll be showing you guys the blitzes I like. Now I'm going to be breaking down how I like to blitz out of 3-4 normal or 3-4 odd. If you're old school, it's 3-4 normal. New school calls it 3-4 odd. Again, we're going to practice this against the tight doubles formation. And I guess we can pick a play where just one guy is blocking. Don't think they have any. So we'll pick this up, man. I think the blitz is the best out of pinch, dog to press. For some reason, I think the angles are just better. So this is what it's gonna look like, and very easy. Just like the 146, you want to use the linebacker on the same side of the running back, and the adjustment is going to be to baseline, which is Y right, show blitz, which is Y left. We're going to crash the D line down. We're going to contain, and in this particular defense, we're going to blitz this guy. We're going to hover with this guy, and now again, remember, this is going to scheme with the cover 3 cloud. And if they block one guy, this guy usually does come free. It's hard to hover, so it's kind of hard to show it. But one guy usually does come free. So I'm going to do this once again. Actually, in this play, it's my mistake. And this is the play you actually don't want to crash in, because these angles are actually so good. So again, I'm going to go like this. And as you guys can see, somebody comes free. So again, do not crash D-line down on this. Here you guys can see I'm sending 6 against 6 blocking, and the linebacker does come free, and that's me without even really being able to hover. And the adjustments I like to do out of this cover 2 show are kind of the same as the 146. So like something like this, I don't want to have a cloud flat on this left side of the field because the running back's on the right side of the field. And if they throw a quick table route, I don't want to have to guard the running back. So I would cover 4 the left outside corner and cover 3 this guy. So the reason why I do this is because if you throw anything over the middle, so let's say you try to throw a streak to B, or let's just say you try to throw a streak to the tight end. This guy is going to guard it because he's going to cover 3. Now if you try to throw a long corner route to the left side, I can guard a shorter route. So let's just say to the left side you have a drag with a long corner route combo. I can guard the drag, and this cover 4 will guard the corner, which is why I like this adjustment so much. And then again, we'll just show you. Somebody almost comes free, and here what I would have done is, I'm just going to show you guys what I would have done with my user is this play has a corner out, as I just said, has a corner out to this guy, and as you can see, this deep blue will guard him. Especially Byron Jones, if you don't throw that late, if you throw that early, he's going to jump it. And then my user would have guarded, my user would have guarded this short route, which is this guy. And this short guy. This guy is open, but we just have to hope that the us blitzing 6 gets there in time. And what you can also do is, out of this same blitz, is you can blitz all linebackers, and it's going to look like this. And then you can do something like this, put this guy in a cover 2, and you're going to hover with this guy. And what now this is going to do is it's going to force them to max protect and still come free versus max protect. As you see, 2 guys come free. Show you guys this one more time. Here I am blitzing 7 defenders. So as you guys can see, I get an A gap and I get an outside pressure. And then what you could also do is you can do the same adjustment, but instead of putting a cloud flat, when you give them this look right here, this is what it's going to look like. So what I did is cover 4 both my outside corners. I covered 3 this left safety, and then I'm going to stand right here. When somebody gets this look, they're more than likely going to max protect. So their offensive play would look something like this. And then what you would do is go like this, and you would guard this, and as you guys can see, nothing was open and you sent 7 guys. So this is how I like to blitz out of cover 2. I don't like any cover 2 defense in 3-4 because 1, cover 2 is really not that good, and 2, I can't man up any of those routes that usually beat cover 2 with these linebackers because they're going to get beat. So I wouldn't suggest for anyone to really run too much coverage out of 3-4. If you're going to run coverage, I would run cover 3 cloud or the cover 3 buzz. Alright boys, now we're going to be breaking down the 3-4 blitz out of cover 0, which is the also very popular meta this year. Everyone is running cover 0. blitzing 7 defenders, it is very, very hard to beat because man press is really, really good this year at pressing and actually guarding routes. So very easy. What I like to do is baseline, show blitz, re-blitz everyone, and contain. Very simple. Here you want to crash down, and if you want to mix up a 6-man blitz, you can do this. And all you're going to do is you're just going to use this linebacker, and now you can make this look like the cover 2 send 6, or you can make it look like the cover 3 cloud or the cover 3 buzz send 3. So sometimes when you do run this cover 0, you do want to use this guy because you want to try to confuse your opponent. High, and as you can see, somebody will always come free in 3-4. This is one of the most popular defenses this year. It's really, really good against the pass. And then if you want to send 6, you're going to do the same thing. And now all you're going to do is baseline, show blitz, crash down, contain, and you have a cover 0 look, but now you're blitzing 7. So this is what it's going to look like. Remember to re-blitz all your linebackers and contain. This is what it's going to look like. And now you're in cover 0. So basically, as a user, let's just say they ran a play, something like this. Then your only thing to do as a user is to use the drag. But if they do something like this, then you have to use the tight end because that's who you're supposed to be guarding. So again, we're going to call hike, and as you can see, absolutely screaming. You have no time. You almost have to max protect against show blitz, especially this kind of look. So, and now we're going to show you what happens when you do max protect. And it's still going to more than likely scream. And as you can see, somebody will come free. So, quick little breakdown. 3-4 if you're going to blitz. If you're going to run in cover 2, I suggest you to send 6 or 7. Cover 0, send 6 or 7. And when you want to run cover 3, I would suggest to just run 3 with a spy. This will really confuse your opponents because your opponents are going to start max protecting every play. And it's hard to get routes open, especially this year when there's not really a route like Buck Sale or a route that just gets over every zone that's a post. So it depends how you mix it up, but if you mix it up, you can definitely start completely locking up your opponents. This is another 3-4. I kind of like running it against shotgun and under center versus under center heavy runner. I wouldn't run it too much because of the linebackers being in the gap, so it's not too good for the run, but definitely a good defense to mix up and something I've been running a lot. What I'm going to be showing you guys first is how to stop the run out of 3-4 odd. The play that we're going to be picking is cover 4 quarters, and we're going to play against the most popular running formation right now, which is I form close out of the Oakland Raiders playbook. The setup we want to do is we're going to press Y down for press, the left stick and the left stick down. I mean the D-pad to the left and the D-pad down to pinch the line. The linebackers, the D-pad to the right and the D-pad up to spread the linebackers. Then we're gonna crash down, and we want to re-blitz this guy and shade down. And you want to use the weak side safety. So right here, this is what it's gonna look like. And when they run stretch, usually I'm gonna show you guys what happens, and it's one of those linebackers shoots the B gap and hits the running back in the backfield. And that's exactly why I told you guys I want to have the best linebackers in the middle of the field. Well, inside linebackers, I'm sorry. Here I'm going to show you guys that Jalen Smith shoots the gap. I'm going to show you this a few times so you guys can see it's not fluke. Again, this is what it's going to look like. You want to bring your safety right here over the center, and it's going to look like this. We're going to run stretch again. And there you go, Jalen Smith shoots the gap and punches the running back in the face and causes a fumble. We're going to do this one more time just to show you guys this is really not fluke. This really is run D. This is what it's going to look like again. Oh, by the way, just want to make sure you guys do not want to blitz these outside linebackers. when you blitz them, they blitz straight down in a run fit. When you put them in a hard flat, they kind of contain the stretch. So just make sure that you guys are not doing that. You want to look exactly like this. We're gonna run stretch, and once again, you see Jalen Smith hits him in the backfield. Now we're gonna flip the formation, and we're gonna flip the I-form formation, but our setup on defense is gonna stay the same. Now you want to blitz this dude, and you want to use it the weak side safety. So now you're gonna use the opposite safety, so it's gonna look like this. I keep blitzing everybody. I'm sorry. Should be like this. I'm gonna run stretch to the left. And as you can see, again, they got no yards, even though he broke a tackle. Usually that linebacker does come free. Let me flip it. Bring this guy right here. You want to plug in, so as you can see, this the way that this run fit is, this safety's in a run fit. So what you want to do is you actually don't want to run over here unless they run a power roll, which I'm going to break down. So on a run fit for the stretch, you want to just kind of contain it. This keeps happening. So again, I'm going to run the stretch. And what you want to do with the safety is you kind of want to just contain it over here. And usually that left linebacker does shoot the gap, but he's not shooting it out. Usually does. Now we're going to show you this run defense against the other popular runs that everyone is running in these formations. And first off, we're going to start off by power O. As you can see, a million people in the backfield. Very, 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 very good run defense. I'm going to run that again. Same setup. You want to make sure you put your user right here. As you can see in the run fits, again, I blitzed everyone. So I'm just going to show you this. Okay, we're going to forget about this play because it's not letting me set up my defense. But as you can see, when you blitz the linebackers, they don't get in run fits anymore. So you want to make sure you're not blitzing those linebackers. You want to just blitz this dude. So it's going to look like this. And as you can see, now those guys are in run fits. If you blitz them, they're not in run fits. Bring this guy right over here. Run a power O. And as you can see, once again, completely locked up. Guy broke 2 tackles and still only got 3 yards. Now we're going to show you this against halfback ISO, which is another very popular run play in this formation. And it's going to stay the same. Adjustments are going to stay the same. I keep doing it. Oh my God. There you go. Now we're going to run ISO. And as you can see, he once again gets hit in the backfield. So this is really, 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 really good run D. Also, if you want, let's say it's a long yardage, and especially against this, what I like to do is here I'll blitz everyone. I'll man up everyone. I'll man up X, I'll man up A, I'll man up B. And let's just say they try to pass. This usually is going to come free. One of the guys is going to come up the B gap. So if like you get in a situation where you think they might pass the ball, this also comes free up the B gap. I'm going to show you here how this right linebacker came up the B gap. So again, the setup is going to be cover 4 quarters. You want to make sure it's cover 4 quarters because the linebacker's already blitzing and they get better blitz angles. You're going to press. You're going to pinch your line. You're going to spread your linebackers. You're going to blitz the middle linebacker that's in a yellow. And then you're going to shade down. And this will completely stop almost every single run. I've been having a lot of success against this. You guys saw me play Ghost. I didn't want to do this on stream, but I started doing it towards the late end of the game because I figured most people wouldn't really have noticed. And the same thing happened with Beast Mode. Beast Mode started to do it late game, and we blew up every single run. This is the best run defense in the game right now, and I don't even think I've seen anything better. I've had a ton of success stopping every formation with the same setup. if they go to a different formation and you're having if you're struggling with the linebackers not shooting the gap, the only difference you have to make is crash up. So that's an in-game adjustment you have to make depending on what formation you're in. What's up, boys? This is Joe, and this is the introduction to the defensive ebook. Here I'll be breaking down nickel normal versus shotgun bunch. And the first thing we want to do is we just want to talk about what we like to do against it. And one, you want to make sure that your defense has the auto flip feature on. Our recommended audibles are going to be cover 4 palms, nickel blitz 2, and I like cover 3 cloud a lot. So our 4 audibles are going to be cover 2 man, cover 3 cloud, nickel blitz 2, and cover 4 palms. Make sure you guys have cover 4 palms, not cover 4 quarters. This year they do play completely different. Palms match the corner routes, quarters leave everything open. So again, we're going to want to have the the auto flip feature on. Our recommended audibles is as shown: cover 4 palms, nickel blitz 2, cover 3 cloud, and 2 men under. The way we want to set up the defensive personnel is we want to have our best 2 pass rushers at end. So for Cowboys, it will be Robert Quinn and DeMarcus Lawrence. Your D tackles, you can just put whoever sheds the most or whoever has a better pass rushing stats. It doesn't really matter because we like running nickel normal versus bunch, and there's not many good run plays out of bunch. Our slot corner, we're gonna make them the fastest bad guy we have. So for the Cowboys, it'll be Chris Weststreet. Our outside corners, we want them to be the best man corners who have at least 80 press. So for the Cowboys, it's going to be Anthony Brown and Byron Jones. Then it leaves the safeties. The safeties are the least important in this defense. So we're just going to make it whoever are the best 2 guys that we have left that have higher zone than everybody else with decent speed. So for the Cowboys, it's Xavier Woods and Awuzie. So just a little breakdown of how I like to play bunch. We want to be able to send a lot of pressure until they start max protecting. And then once they start max protecting, it's when we want to start rushing 4. The reason why we do this is because when they max protect and we only rush 4, the tight end actually blocks the outside end. So a lot of the times, a tight end is going to be attempting to block DeMarcus Lawrence, and DeMarcus Lawrence is going to win that matchup almost every single time. So just wanted to let you guys know what audibles I like, what how my personnel was set up, and the auto flip feature. Also, if they come out in bunch to the left and they flip it and you want to audible to a play, you always want to flip your defense with them. So the way that we're going to do that is if they come out with bunch to the right and we're in cover 4 palms and we want to be in cover 4 palms, if they flip their formation, what we have to do to make our defense flip is audible to cover 4 palms again. So once I break down all the different stuff I like to do in nickel normal, I'll be showing you guys that as well. This is just a quick little introduction, and we'll be getting into all the coverage and blitzes. Alright, what's up, boys? First off, we're going to be starting with my favorite coverage against bunch, and it's going to be cover 4 palms. And we're going to show you that cover 4 palms almost locks up everything that people like to do in bunch. So if you guys have our subscription to the monthly tips, you guys would know that I broke this down. But the way that we're going to set up nickel normal is we're going to press LB and we're going to hit the left stick down. What that does, it presses, it pinches our D line, and it pinches our linebacker. So it puts everyone in perfect precision of where we want them to be. So again, this is cover 4 palms. We're going to start off by manning up X. The reason why you want to man up X, and I'll show it now, is because if you don't man up X, if you just leave it like this, this outside receiver, if he's fast, he's going to burn you. Golden Tate might not, but usually he's going to burn you because for some reason cornerbacks just press really, really bad in cover 4 palm shell. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to man up X, we're going to shade down, and then we're going to shade outside. And the reason why I like doing this is another thing I broke down in the monthly tip section is shading outside makes the bump a lot better. So what our defense is going to look like, it's going to look like this. Again, you guys want to shade down. You don't want to leave these purples, and I'm going to show you why you don't want to do that. But just to begin with, I like to always crash down to give my pass rushers a better angle. And then we're going to hover here because that's just what we do with every defense. So first we're going to show you a very popular play in bunch, and it's Z-spot. We're the flood concept, and as you guys can see, the outside cornerback mans up to the corner route and it completely bags it. So I'll show you guys here in the replays. So the hard flat is guarding the flat route. You can't throw that. The safety is guarding the streak. This year you can't put him on a fade anymore, so you can't bomb him. He's guarding that. And then the outside cornerback guards the slot corner route. He can't throw that. And then this is supposed to be your user. You are going to guard the middle of the field if ever that guy gets open. So as you guys can see, cover 4 palms completely bagged that flood concept that everyone loves so much. So now we're going to try that same flood concept out of corner strike, which is probably the best play in bunch this year. So again, it's the same concept, just different guy running a corner route. We're going to call hike. We're in the same defense on defense. I mean, same coverage on defense. We're always going to stay here because this is how we like to make the blitz come better when we do send them. And then as you can see, you cannot throw this. The corner routes are completely bagged. So the best way to stop these long corner routes is by match coverage. Just like last year, it's just that this year you have to run cover 4 palms, not cover 4 quarters. So then again, just going to give you guys a little overlook. The flat is completely bagged. The streak is completely bagged by the safety. The corner route is completely bagged as well. And here is why you want to put these guys in hard flats, not in purples. So if I go like this and I leave these purples and I run verticals and I just motion hike B, you're gonna see what the outside corner does, and you can throw that because the purple mans up to the wheel route, and we don't want that. We want the outside corner to man up to outside routes. But if you leave that purple, this seam flat right here is gonna man up to the wheel route, and as you can tell, he's gonna be beat. So you don't want to do that. You want to put them in hard flats. Now I'm going to show you the difference of that same exact defense when you put them in hard flats. So again, this is what the coverage is going to look like. You guys always want to shade down first and then shade outside, because if you shade down, it puts everyone in hard flats, and once you shade outside, it makes the cornerbacks play the way that I described in the monthly tip section, which is just a lot better against man. So here we're going to run verticals. You guys can see, and now I'm going to do the same exact thing, and you guys are going to see that the outside corner, now he mans up to the wheel route, and that's what we want. We don't want that purple ever manning up to any routes. So again, I broke this down in the introduction video. Let's say they come out in corner strike and they want to run it to the short side, which people do. The way that you're going to make your defense flip is you're going to audible to cover 4 palms, and now you're going to do the same adjustments. You're gonna man up. You're gonna man up to the outside corner, and you're always gonna use this guy right here. And now, if they run corner strike to the short side, it's gonna be the same thing. It's gonna be completely bagged for the same exact reason, because cover 4 palms just completely locks up bunch. Alright boys, now I'll be bringing you guys my favorite coverage defense against basically any shotgun punch play. And this is another scheme that we like to do. So there's a unblockable blitz that I have against bunch, and this is how I scheme around it. So the play is going to be cover 3 cloud. We're going to man up the outside corner. We're going to put this linebacker right here in a purple, and we're going to user this guy, and we're going to bring him here. When you do this kind of defense, you want to shade up so that left outside cornerback doesn't get beat deep. So when they see this look, the offense is rarely ever going to send out more than 3 routes. They're going to max pro, and As you guys can see, this also bags the concept of a streak in a corner. So we're gonna go look through it again. Now the reason why I like this, I'm just gonna break this down here, is this linebacker right here that's in a purple. He's gonna guard any route that comes to the left side of the field. The outside corner is gonna guard the solo side receiver. This purple is gonna defend corner routes, short corner routes such as stick, and it's going to defend the flat routes for 3 to 4 yards. We'd rather give them a 3 to 4 yard flat route than giving up a 20-yard corner route. So if this was stick, it would guard it. And then for some reason, cover 3 cloud defends the corner routes kind of like match, but kind of not like match because they don't man up as good. They just guard it a little better. So again, I'll show you my favorite coverage adjustments out of this look versus a different play. So again, this is all it's going to look like. And we're going to stay right here. This is what it's going to look like, and we're going to run something like Z-spot. And again, most people are going to max pro when they do this, and that's what we want. As you can tell here, the purple completely locked it up, and the deep route also was going to guard it, the deep blue, which is the reason why I like these purples so much. I wouldn't be using too much coverage defense out of cover 2 because clouds are really, really bad. But this is what I want to show you. So this is again Z-spot. Look how this purple plays. This purple almost mans up, and then he kind of bites down, leaving this safety enough room to guard a corner out. So now let's say they ran another play where they have a drag. I want to show you guys what. So we're going to run a play like this. Something like that, and we're going to do the same thing, our same adjustments. Remember, shade over top because you don't want to get beat deep. So it's going to look like this. Oh, actually, I'll go to the wrong play, sorry. It's going to look like this. And I like to man myself up to the running back. I want to show you guys what that purple does from Jalen Smith. And then he guards that for a 3-yard gain, and he's going to hit stick. So this is my favorite coverage defense against bunch. And again, if the offense flips, you want to audible to the defense again, which is cover 3 cloud, set it up. Here you're going to put this guy on a purple, shade up, man the outside cornerback out on the outside, and it's going to look like this. And then you're going to use your this safety, and you're going to bring them here. And it's going to look like this. Next video, I'll be breaking down a 7-man blitz that is unblockable against shotgun bunch, even if you max protect. And this is the way that we like to complement that 7-man blitz. Alright boys, now I'll be breaking down how I like to run nickel blitz too. Just want to let you guys know this is probably my least favorite coverage against bunch. Cover 2 is really, really bad, and I wouldn't suggest you guys to run this too often, especially not more than 20% of the game. My favorite coverages against bunch are the cover 3 cloud that I've broken down, the cover 4 palms, and the cover 0. But if you guys want to mix in some cover 2, this is how I like to do it. So first and foremost, we're going to start off by the regular old send 6 against running back blocking. And all we're going to do is we're going to pinch the whole defense, which is LB, left click down, crash down, contain, and we're going to hover right over here with our linebacker. And if they send out 4 routes, this should come free. Usually the guy that is blitzing is my user, so I'm going to go back in coverage. It's hard to do it with 2 controllers, but I do want to show you that if you send 6 against just the simple running back blocking, it does come free. So again, this guy that you're going to see in the video, in the insert replay, that's going to be my user, so I'm going to go back in coverage. So don't count him as a blitzer. But as you can see, what's going to happen is this outside corner is going to come free. That's just the standard adjustments I like. Now we're going to get what I like to call a little adjusting, and what we like to do is just going to show you guys the play art. It's basically cover 0, but we have a cloud flat, so if they send out the tight end on a flat, we don't have to guard it, and we can guard the middle of the field. And then I'm going to show you that this will come free against just running back blocking. Again, don't count my linebacker that's blitzing as a blitzer because I'm going to go back to coverage with him. Another thing I like to do is we like to turn this into a cover style defense, and this is the adjustment we like. We're going to crash down. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave this guy in a soft squat, which basically if there's no route going to the left, that soft squat is going to man up. If there's a route going to the left, he's going to play a cloud. I like to put my outside corner in a cover 4 zone, my safety in a cover 4 zone because he's going to guard the seam better. And again, remember I told you guys I don't like hard flats and bunch. I like these purples. These purples are really good. And here we're going to run corner strike. And as you can see, it's hard to throw those corner routes against that cover 4, and that purple guards the flat really, really well. Now, another adjustment I like is it's the same thing, but this is what it's gonna look like. This is just a 3 right. Remember, always crash down. So in this instance, it's kind of a tell, but we're not gonna use the same linebacker, which is why I don't do this too often. So again, we're going to cover for the outside corner, cover for his safety. This time we're going to put this slot corner in a 3 rec, and we're going to put this guy right here in a hard flat. If they have a short corner flood concept, this is going to get open, so I don't like running this too much. And again, I wouldn't suggest you guys to run too much cover 2. This is just a mix-in. If you guys ever really want to run it, I wouldn't suggest running this too much because cover 2 is really, really bad. And the last adjustment I like to do is I like to do this. No, we're going to man up this guy, and this is what I like to do. Okay, so this is what it would look like. We're going to man up RB, so he's going to press him, and he's going to stop those short corners. We're going to cross man B with the linebacker, and we're going to shade down. We're going to crash down. And in this defense, I like to shade outside. So now I'm going to show you guys what this would look like against Z-spot. The outside corner mans up. That slot corner guards the corner out. And if they were to run something like vertical, it's the linebacker guard. So again, this is probably the coverage I would like to run least. If I told you guys what my favorite defense is against bunch were, it would be cover 4 palms, the blitz 7, cover 3 cloud, and then any type of cover 2. Hopefully you guys like this breakdown. This is what I've been using to completely lock up bunch. Nobody's really had much success against me in bunch, and hopefully you guys start locking them up as well using these tactics. Alright boys, at this section of the ebook, I'm going to be showing you guys an unblockable blitz against shotgun bunch, and it's very, very easy to set up. We're going to come out of nickel normal undersmoke. It's a cover 0 blitz, and this is what is taking the community by storm right now is these cover 0 blitzes, because boys, they are hard to block. The setup, very easy. We're going to hit the LB button, left stick down, and we're going to contain, crash down, and then we're going to contain last. And for this defense, I don't want to shade over top. I want to shade outside because I want that press. This is what the play is going to look like. And if they ever send out this flat route, I want you guys just to go here and run straight over here. They're not going to send out this tight end much when we do this look, because if they do, everyone's going to be coming free. But I do want to show you guys that this does come free against Max Pro. So this is what Max Pro looks like. We're going to stand right here. The way I like to hover is I like to man up myself to the running back, hit LB and pass commit. And as you guys can see, that outside cornerback is going to come free every single time. There is absolutely no way to block this in nickel normal. I've played the best bunch players in the world again, and I can run this almost every single play, and there's nothing they can do, because as you guys can see, by the time that this cornerback is coming free, there's one route that they can throw that wasn't pressed, and it's this slot guy. And if you throw this streak, this guy's safety is going to jump it and pick 6 it picks. So again, I do like to mix this in with a cover 2, but cover 0 is my favorite style of defense against bunch when I want to blitz heavy. I'm going to show you guys these blitzes a few more times. Again, the setup is we're going to hit LB, and we're going to hit the left stick down, which is going to pinch our whole defense. We're going to crash down, which is left stick, and the right stick down, and then we're going to contain, which is LB and RB. We're going to shade outside, which is Y and the right stick to the right. Oops, sorry about that. But we want these guys here. And this is what the defense is going to look like. Oh, I actually accidentally baseline. This is what the defense is going to look like. And we're going to max protect again out of a different play, just to show you guys that this is going to come free every single time. Now we can also do this out of cover 2. I like, if you want to do cover 2, I think it's better if you pick this cover 0 because it's already set up for you. So we're going to pick again. The play is called Under Smoke. And we're going to come out and get a random bunch play. So again, LB, we're going to pinch everyone. So let's say you guys just wanted to turn this into a cover 2. I think the best way to do it is just by doing this. Is quick adjusting your players to a cover 2 themselves. So you would put this guy outside corner in a cloud flat, this guy in a cover 2. You would shade outside, crash down and contain. And then if you do this, this is going to stop that quick throw to the flat route. And what I would want you to do is as soon as they call hike, run back and guard this middle of the field so they can't throw a seam streak to number 87, which is the slot receiver. But this, even if you mix up your covers, like this is still going to completely scream, and they're not going to have much time to basically throw anything. So here we're going to man up ourselves to the running back, stay in this zone. We're going to max protect again, and as you guys can see, that outside cornerback is just going to come screaming every single time. There's nothing you can do. Then again, if it's a little different too, since we don't have this play in our audibles, if the offense flips, this time you want to reset your play, and it's going to flip the cornerback with them. So then we're going to do the same adjustments, which is just going to be press, crash down and contain, and we always want to use the safety on the same side of the running back. This is what it's going to look like, and just this is what it's going to look like right here. And just to show you guys, again, this is unblockable. I know we're sending 7, but guys, cover 0 is so good this year where sending 7 is actually a viable defense. A lot of the best players in the world are struggling against this, and this right here completely locks up bunch. So this is my cover 7, my unblockable blitz against bunch. I do run this a lot until they start max protecting. Once they start max protecting, even though the blitz comes free, I still like to mix in the match coverage and the cover 3 cloud. And in the next section, I'll be breaking down how I like to run cover 2 against bunch. Alright boys, now we'll be breaking down the big dime 1-4-6 against shotgun formations. My personnel recommendations are the best 2 pass rushers you can have on the outside. For D tackle, you do not want to have your best box shedder. You actually want to have your best pass rusher, because for this defense, Demarcus Lawrence or Robert Quinn are going to shoot the gap and hit every inside zone in the backfield. For slot corners, you want to have your 2 fastest bad players. For outside corners, you want to have your 2 best man outside corners that can press. For the Cowboys, it's going to be Byron Jones and Anthony Brown. And then it leaves the safeties. For the safeties, you just want to have the 2 fastest guys with the best zone you can have. My recommended audibles are Crossfire, although I never use it. You only need 3 plays for this. DB, it's going to be the third one. It's going to be Cover 3 Sky. DB Sting Blitz, DB Sting 2 Blitz, and then DB Sting. This was just an introduction video, and now I'll be showing you guys what I like to do in this formation. Alright, boys, now I'll be breaking down the coverage defenses that I like out of 146. I like running cover 3 sky because cover 3 sky lines up just like the DB stink blitzes. I like running cover 3 sky coverage, and I like running one coverage out of cover 2. First, I'm going to show you guys the cover 3 sky, and we're going to run it against bunch tight end. So we're going to press. It's going to look the same exact way. We're going to move these guys. Actually, we had auto flip on. You don't want to have auto flip on for these defenses. I can't turn it off, but you don't want auto flip on for these defenses. So what you want to do is cover 3 sky against bunch tight end. We're going to press, shade down. We're going to move this guy inside. We're going to man him up to B, to Y, and we're going to shade outside. And then we're going to move this guy inside. And this is what it's going to look like. And yes, it looks very, very simple, but you have to remember that when people play these blitz-heavy defenses, they're going to block a lot of guys. So this coverage against Max Pro is amazing. This guy right here is going to guard any corner outs to the left. And the best thing about this formation is that if you're playing Mutt, I'm sure you more than likely have 2 edge threats. So as you can see, DeMarcus Lawrence is lit up over here because he has superstar ability. Him and Robert Quinn are going to get one-on-ones every single time when I rush only 3 guys. I'm going to show you guys that I'm going to block somebody, but just look at, as you can see, DeMarcus Lawrence gets a one-on-one. So this defense for Mutt is amazing because you'll be able to have 2 guys with edge threat who are always going to have that X Factor ability activated because they're getting one-on-ones on the edge. As you guys can see here, you don't want to crash any type of way. You just literally want to shade down, man up one guy with the guy who's supposed to be blitzing in the slot, and these outside edge rushers are always going to get one-on-ones. So you can see the only guy who gets double teamed is the D tackle, which is why you just want to have your worst guy there, your worst pass rusher. And now I'm going to show you guys, again, I'll show you guys that same adjustment. It's just press, shade down, move this guy in, man him up, shade outside, make it all look the same, move this guy inside, and it's going to look like this. And again, Marcus Lawrence is usually going to get a one-on-one. He didn't get a one-on-one this time, but the right tackle did. So that's why I told you in Mutt, one of your players will always get a one-on-one. I'll show you guys here that the offensive line double-teamed DeMarcus Lawrence. The D tackle always gets double-teamed. So one of these edge rushers are always going to get a one-on-one. So if you're playing Mutt, you definitely want to have 2 edge rushers. Now I'm going to show you guys my favorite cover 2 adjustments. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is we want to blitz all linebackers because we want to make sure that these guys are getting pass rushes. When you're sending the coverage defense, you do not want to contain. So what we're going to do is we're going to man up Y again. So we're going to man up, in cover 2 we want to man up any route that can potentially get over a cloud. In bunch tight end, the only route that can get over a cloud is the slot receiver Y. This guy, we're going to put in a yellow, which is, I think it's a vert hook. So yeah, we're going to put him in a vert hook. And this guy, you can either deep blue him, you can put him in a mid read, or you can man him up. And again, we're going to shade outside. And this is what it's going to look like. And as you guys can see, everything is completely back. And I'm not sure what's happening right now. Sorry for that, but we're going to show you guys that the coverage defense out of this is really, 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 really good. And again, our pass rushers are going to get one-on-ones. So there, Robert Quinn got a one-on-one and DeMarcus Lawrence won. So that's what we like to do against bunch tight end. Now we're going to show you guys some adjustments I like to do versus trips tight end. So again, this is what it looks like. And we're going to man up anyone who can beat us with a corner out in trips tight end. In trips tight end, it's usually only B, so we're going to man up B. when you're in trips tight end against cover 3, you want to put this guy in a cover 2 invert because you don't want to get bombed by cover 3 bombs. The way you do that is you're going to press Y twice, you're going to press X, and then you're going to hit the deep half. Or if you just go to him, you're going to press A and then deep half. And you're going to use this guy right here. This is what the coverage is going to look like against trips tight end. And as you can see, everything is completely bagged. A lot of the crossers and all the stuff that people like to do versus trips tight end is to beat. Now we're going to show you guys the coverage defense that I like versus trips tight end. So again, we're going to blitz all linebackers. It's going to look like this. We're going to man up B because he can beat us with to the outside with cover 2 beaters. We're going to man up A, and we're going to put him in a hook curl. Left guy in a hook curl. This is what it's going to look like. And you're going to stand here. So this is what it's going to look like here. Because, oh, another thing, sorry, you want to do this. This is exactly what we want to do. So basically, any routes over the middle, Jalen Smith is going to guard. Westry is going to guard any outside corners. This guy is going to guard any deep crosser ran by Y. And this guy is going to make sure you don't get bombed. So your user adjustments, like what you're supposed to guard as a user here, is the right side of the field. But then again, you got to remember, against these blitz heavy style defenses, they're not going to be sending out their running back too often. So you're usually going to be able to guard just the middle of the field. And as you guys can see, everything is once again bagged. Those are just the adjustments I like out of cover 2. I don't like getting too wide out of cover. If I'm running cover 2, I kind of want to blitz a lot. So I wouldn't suggest you running too much coverage out of cover 2. If you're going to run coverage, I'd suggest you to run it out of cover 3. So now I'm going to just break down what I like to do out of cover 2, DB sting, and cover 3 out of just versus random formations. Alright, what's up, boys? We're going to be breaking down the 146 Big Dime Blitz out of DB Sting 2, which is going to be the cover 2 version. And I'm going to show you guys this blitz against bunch tight end and trips tight end. And this works normally against any formation, but this is just the formation you guys are going to see the most. The setup is very easy. You're going to press, which is Y down. You're going to re-blitz all your linebackers, which is the right D-pad to the right and the right stick down. The last thing you want to do is you want to contain your defense, so you're going to press LB and RB. So just a quick little way to show you guys the fastest way to set this up. Once you get on this left cornerback, press B once and you get here. So this is very, very easy to set up. Now let's just say you want to click on this right cornerback first. So you click on this right cornerback first, you press B once and it gets you to the left side of the field, and then you just press the directional to the left, to the right and B, and you get on this corner. What the blitz is going to look like is like this. I like to hover right in front of number 70. And I like to kind of make sure that number 70 is paying attention to me. It's kind of hard to show you guys. Again, this is really hard to show you guys with one hand. But this is what the blitz is going to look like. And I'm going to show you guys what happens when they send out 5 routes. Again, I like to hover and stay right here. As you guys can see, basically 2 guys just come through screaming. This is one of the fastest blitzes in the game. In my opinion, the fastest blitz in the game against shotgun. Usually, this outside left corner will come free, and this right outside cornerback comes free, but it's practice mode, and I can't hover the way I really want to hover. So here it shows you that one guy comes through screaming, and the other guy is about to come free, so he basically comes free as well. That's against one guy blocking. Now, we're going to show you with, that was against nobody blocking. Now we're going to show you what this looks like with one guy blocking. Don't forget to re-blitz everybody. And I'm just going to leave myself blitzing because the way that I kind of hover, I make number 70 block me at first. So just for the video sakes, I'm going to let this guy block me and then I'm going to go back up. It's hard to do with one hand, but that's how you want to do it, and that's what makes this blitz unblockable. So as you guys can see, Remember when this blue guy that's blue highlight, the blue guy that's highlighted, you're gonna go back and coverage with him. So do not count him as a blitzer. It's gonna be a 6-man rush against 6-man blitzing. 6-man rush against 6 blocking, and one of these outside corners are always gonna come free. We already showed you guys in the previous video that this completely stops the run, and now we're gonna show you this against Max Pro. So again, this is what the defense is going to look like, and this is what it's going to look like against Max Pro. That's what I just did right there is exactly what we want to do. And the blitz didn't unfortunately come free there, but it is going to come free more often than not. I'm going to show you guys here. This is exactly what you guys want to do with the guy who's hovering. You want to put him right in front, he touches him, and then you want to run back. That's exactly what you want to do. As you guys can see, number 70 tries to block you, and then he doesn't block anyone else. That's what's going to make the blitz come free. So that's just the blitz against bunch tight end. Now we're going to show you guys that this also comes free against strip tight end. And same adjustments. The only thing is you got to move this guy in. This is what the blitz is going to look like. And this is it against 4 guys. A running back being sent out. You guys can see somebody comes free, screaming. Now we're going to block somebody on the trip side end. Remember, just press B to get to this guy way faster. And then if you wanted to get back to that guy, let's say you're on here and you want to get back, instead of going like this, it's a lot harder. You got to go up, down, like this way. Just press B once and then go here. This is what the blitz is going to look like. Remember, I like standing right over number 70. This is what the blitz is going to look like with somebody blocking. And again, I can't hover the way I want to hover, so it's hard to show that this blitz comes free, but I promise you guys this blitz is amazing. And now we're going to show you this against verticals with Max Pro. And again, nobody came free, but it's because I can't hover. And maybe I could just show this in game to show you guys this really does work. That's just the cover 2 version. Now I'm going to be breaking down the man version, and then after that section, I'll be breaking down a cover section out of this defense as well. All right, boys. Now we're going to be breaking down DB Sting out of 146. It's the man version of the 146 splits. Remember, cover 0 is amazing this year, and against bunch tight end, I would suggest running this almost 50% of the time, because bunch tight end does really bad job of beating man coverage this year. Excuse me. So the blitz is just going to look like this. And we're going to show you guys what happens when you send everyone out. One guy just comes through screaming. Now we're going to show you when somebody blocks. Again, this is what the blitz will look like. Somebody blocking, somebody comes free. And now we're going to max protect. So for this blitz, since everyone's already blitzing, all you have to do is contain. Now we're going to show you guys what happens when somebody max pros and somebody still comes free. So again, the cover 0 blitz is insane. For some reason, the cover 0 blitz comes in a lot better than cover 2, but this blitz is insane. As you guys can see, there's max protect. They're max protecting, right? So what happens is when you max protect against man coverage, this outside corner is supposed to be manned up to the tight end, but since he blocks, this guy actually turns into a blitzer. So the more you block, the more that blitz against cover 0. This blitz is insane. This blitz is nearly unblockable in almost any formation. Now we're going to go to trip tight end, and we're going to show you what happens when you send out a receiver. Again, this is what the blitz is going to look like. two guys just come through screaming. As you guys can see, this blitz is, you got half a second to throw the ball. I mean, this blitz is, in my opinion, the best blitz against shotgun. Just look at this. One guy comes from the outside, one guy comes up the B gap, and they can't throw anything. If you guard a running back, which is your only assignment is always the running back, what can they possibly do? Now we're going to block somebody out of trips tight end. So you guys can see I'm blocking somebody. Remember, stay right here. And same thing happens. One guy just comes through screaming. Now we're going to max protect. Out of trips tight end. When another thing, when you run this cover zero, you want to make sure you shade outside because you want to have the really good press. I didn't blitz myself there, so that's the reason why I didn't come free. I'll show you guys again. But again, when you're in cover zero, you want to make sure you press and shade outside. If you guys don't have the monthly tip section, shading outside makes bumping a lot better, and it makes your guard routes much better. So again, this is what it's going to look like. We're going to audible to trips tight end, and we're going to max pro, and someone's going to come through screaming. Didn't come free again, but it usually does come free. So that's just the cover zero. Now the next section I'm going to be breaking into is the coverage defenses I like out of 146, and then I'm going to show you guys how I like to run 146 against random formations. Alright boys, now I'm going to be showing you guys how to adjust versus random formations out of the 146. And first we're going to start off by the very easy one. DB sting 0. So let's just say they come out in cover 0, and all you do is, remember you always want to use it a running back and the linebacker on the same side of the running back. So, and when you're in cover 0, you want to shade outside. So like, let's say they come out in something like that, you would just run DB sting 0. But let's just say you wanted to run cover 2. My favorite adjustments out of this would be, I like to basically man up one side. So I would do this. I like to call this a cover 2 man hybrid. So what it looks like is this. So if they throw anything to the middle short, I'm going to guard it. If the running back goes on a swing route, I have to guard the running back, and if they throw something over the middle, I have to concede and give that up. But this is what I would normally like to do. Or you can do the opposite, and you can do this. This is probably better to do. No, hold on. This is probably better to do. So I wish it would let me show it. This is probably better to do because now if the running back goes on a swing route to the left, I don't have to user guard it, and I can still guard in the middle of the field. So you can do something like this, or you can do something like this. Or you can do it vice versa. And you can do this. Now out of cover 3, this is what I would like to do. This is actually messed up, so we're gonna it's not gonna let us man them up. But usually it would look like this. I have auto football in practice mode, so it's messing up. This is what it would normally look like. And what I would do here is man up the slot, shade outside, and then it's just usually this guy. And then again, you're always gonna get that. It would normally look like this because that guy's gonna be in a hard flat if I don't have auto football. Now we're gonna show you this out of another random formation, maybe something like wide trips. It's really easy to adjust out of spread formations with this because you can always just run a cover 0 and basically just sack them every single time. So if you're playing against some random cover 3, some random formations like wide trips or anything like that, you could always just run a cover 0. So let's just say I'm playing against wide trips. What I would like to do is something like this. Remember, always use the running back on the same side. Something like this, and remember, always shade outside, because if they run verticals, this slot guy can beat you deep. But if you man up this guy and put this guy in a cover 3, like that, they can't beat you deep anymore. And let's just say they run verticals, somebody comes free, and you sack them. And then you could always run the cover 0, and I'm going to show you guys what I would do out of cover 3. Basically, out of the cover 3, I like to man up the slot receiver. So it would look something like this. I always like to man up the slot receiver. It would look basically like this. 2 yellows, 2 hard flats, and 1 guy manned up. So this is going to conclude the 1-4-6. Again, I would suggest running this against any shotgun formation. I'll show you even against inside zone out of wide trips. This is going to blow it up every single time. The right guy is just going to come free. I didn't blitz him. I'll show you guys one more time to conclude the video. But as long as you're sending 6, this does stop every single shotgun run, and it's hard to say that about any defense in the game so far. Let me make sure that this is what it's going to look like. Now you run inside zone, and that guy is going to come free every single time. So again, 1-4-6 is my favorite defense against almost any shotgun formation that isn't shotgun bunch. So hopefully you guys like this, and hopefully you guys start locking everyone up as well. Alright boys, now I'll be breaking down the 3-5 odd formation. For this formation, you want to run it flipped, so you want to make sure that your auto flip is off. You want to have your best looping, well first you want to have your best user at the right linebacker spot. So for the Cowboys, I like to use Jeff Heath. For the left middle linebacker spot, we're going to have the best linebacker you have with pursuit. For the Cowboys, it's going to be Van Resch. For this outside linebacker spot, we want to have the best linebacker with zone that is fast. So for the Cowboys, it's going to be Jalen Smith. You want to have your best pass rushers at end, and your best block shedder at D tackle. For the slot DB, you want to have your fastest bad corner, which is going to be for the Cowboys, Chris Westry. And the same way that we set up everything else, we want our best 2 man corners on the outside and the best 2 zone safeties at safety. Sorry about that. The play we're going to be running is linebacker cross 3 show 2. This and a cover 1 version is the only plays we run out of this. And I don't run this formation too much. The only thing I would really run this formation against is something like ace twins, something that you can't run 1-4-6 on. So maybe something that is like a balanced attack that you can pass and run out of, something that I can't run the 3-4 run defense on, and something I can't run a 1-4-6 on. So for example, maybe something like gun a slot. And what we like to do is, first things first, we're always going to move this guy here, and we're going to show you guys the 6-man blitz first. So what you're going to do is you're going to press, you're going to crash up and contain, you're going to re-blitz the outside cornerback and contain, and then I'll show you guys some adjustments I like. So what I like to do is I'll, again, crash up and contain, re-blitz this outside corner. So this is what the blitz is going to look like. We're going to hard flat this left safety, and then we're going to cloud flat this right corner. And since as you see, there's no zones in the middle of the field, we're going to guard the middle of the field. So this is one of Drag's favorite plays right here. He likes to do this. And as you can see, somebody comes screaming way before he can even almost do anything. So again, we'll show you that. Guy comes screaming through. Another thing you can do is, again, crash up. Actually, no, you're going to press, spread the line up, and for this version, you're going to blitz this cornerback. So it's going to look like this, and then you're going to move him in and contain. So now it's going to look like this. What you're going to do is you're going to shade down to turn that into a hard flat, and now you're going to use this guy. So as you can see, now there's a 3 reg, so you don't have to guard the middle of the field. So if we ran that same exact play that we just ran, your user would have to guard the running back. And as you can see, again, we didn't send 6, and the running back went out. Went out. So it's a 5-man rush versus a 5-man blocking, and the cornerback came free again. So here, our user, I'm not sure how to call it, but what we have to guard with our user is this right side of the field. So this tight end or this running back. The left side of the field is completely locked up. He has the corner route open, but we're playing hard flat, so he can't throw to the flat, and he doesn't have enough time to throw to the corner route. Now I'm going to show you guys another setup I like out of this. We're going to press, spread the line up, we're going to crash up, we're going to put the left safety in a hard flat, and we're going to contain. And we always want to move this guy inside because we want to make every blitz look the same. And this is what it's going to look like. So it's just different ways to blitz. Now we're going to run that same exact play that Drag posted in our membership ebook. And usually the left linebacker comes free. There obviously he had everyone open, but usually that guy does come free. Another thing you can do is press, spread the line up, move this guy inside. And what I like to do to get these guys on pass rush angles is just blitz them straight down. And this is a send 4 version. And here, basically, what you would have to guard now is you're going to have to guard longer corner outs. So, like, in a play like this, what you have to guard is B. So that's going to be the guy that's open. As you can see, he's open there. But if you user guard that, you take that away, and then nobody else is open. Now I'm going to show you guys, you can also do this out of cover 0. And I'm going to just show you guys how I would adjust against a few other formations. You can choose to play linebacker cross 3. We're going to play against the same formation, A slot. This actually does really, really good against A slot. We're going to just press. We're going to spread the line up. So press, Y down, spread the line up, which is left, and the left D-pad to the left, and the left stick up, and then we're going to hit the left D-pad and the right stick up to crash. So in this defense, when you crash up, this outside linebacker is considered an end, so he blitzes. So this is literally what it's going to look like. So you can stand anywhere you want here. I'm going to show you guys as well that this does pretty well against against inside zone. And the blitz didn't come in, but everyone is man coverage, so you got a coverage side. Now we're going to show you, I'll just show you this one more time. Another thing you can do is if you're in defense like this, I like to do something like this. You can do something like this. And since obviously you're man aligned because you're pressing, people are going to think that you're in man. So they're going to try to run routes that beat man. I would do something like this just to mix it up and give them just mixing it up where it looks like man, but they actually get cover 2. So it's a way you can disguise your defense. And now I'm going to show you that this is actually pretty good run defense against something like Ace Twins because the linebackers looping come free up the A gap quite a good amount. It doesn't completely lock up the run like the run defense I showed you guys, but then again, that doesn't really lock up the pass. So if you're playing somebody who is mixing in the run completely, I would run the 3-4, but if you're playing someone balanced, I would run this 3-3-5 odd. Again, we're going to just show you the 3-3-5, the cross fire 3, and now we're going to run an inside zone. And I'm going to try to show you guys what I like to do, where I like to stand. So remember, always move this guy inside so they think you're blitzing them. What I like to do with my user is I like to stand right around here. So when they run inside zone, hopefully I can do it with one hand. I can kind of shoot the gap. And if I can't shoot the gap, the looping linebacker does a really good job of coming behind me and plugging up the holes. So as you can see, if I have 2 hands, I can probably shoot that gap right there, but obviously I run into 75 because I'm using the controller with one hand. But even if it doesn't, that looping linebacker does really well at stopping a run. I'm going to show you this, guys, a few more times. Just run inside zone again, same adjustments. And I like to stand like right around here. So when he runs inside zone, I can go here and potentially shoot the gap. I'm trying to see if there's any other another formation I would probably run this against is something like A slot. Regulars basically used to be called Shockman Big, I think, but I'll show you guys what it is. ace, yeah, shotgun ace, something like this, and you would technically do the same adjustments. So it would look like this, and then if you do this, you have to guard the right side of the field. You can put six. Out of something like this, you can actually do this. So hold on, this should work. So basically, I'm running what I like to call a cover two man hybrid. So I remember I always like to have the cover two on the side of the running back, and I like the man on the opposite side. The reason being is that if the running back goes on a swing route, I don't want to have to use guard him because I like to guard the middle of the field. If I was to do something like this, and the running back goes on a swing route, I have to go guard them, or they can potentially score a touchdown. So I like to do my cover two hybrid to always have the cloud flat to the running back side, and then so this could be something you could run against this. And as you can see, everything's locked up, and you're sending six, so the blitz gets there in time. You can also do the same cover adjustments as before. What you see against this, I wouldn't like doing something like this because now there's too many ways that they can hit the middle of the field. They can just have two slants. So against something like a slot, I wouldn't like doing this adjustment. I would prefer more something like this, where if they throw a quick slant to the left, I can still guard it. If they throw a quick slant to the right or throw something to the flats to the right, I can guard it to the right. So 3-5 odd, I really only run if if I can't get a stop in 3-4 odd, a nickel normal or 1-4-6. 3-5 odd is my last resort. Another thing you can do is if you feel like they're running the ball and you're just not doing a good job of plugging in the gaps of the run, you also can just leave the line the way it is. You don't have to spread it up. Yes, the blitz does come better if you spread it up, but this will generate enough pressure where you can still get some stops and could get some timely sacks against people who are really balanced. As you can see, well, there you see it doesn't come free, but usually somebody does come free when you send six. This is going to conclude my ebook. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully this makes you guys any better players. If you guys have any questions, you guys can DM me on Twitter. You can message us on the Elite Madden Discord. Any questions you guys have about my adjustments, if there was something I didn't completely explain, just let me know. I'll do my best to answer everybody. Hopefully this makes you guys better defensive players, and hopefully you guys start locking up everybody, and good luck in Weekend League.